Alright, so something happened in the last recording, and now I'm going to have to try to do it again. So I believe that we started already with the first problem, and we were saying that I knew that it had to do with time, so I'm going to create my timeline knowing that I have my start, my components, my end time, and then my time, elapsed time, how much time was spent or passed on the activity. Okay, let me see if I can move this out of the way. Let me go back to the problem. Okay, let me zoom in a little bit. So Carrie started working on her math and reading homework at 3:20 p.m. She worked on math for 10 minutes. She worked on reading for 25 minutes. What time did Carrie finish her work? So I'm going to reread it. This time I know that Carrie started at 3:20. So going back to my chart, 3:20. Remember that in your start and your end time, you're going to have times, actual times. So I'm going to go ahead and put those. I know it's 3:20 is my start time, 3:20 p.m. She worked on math for 10 minutes, so I have 10 minutes. So I know I have 10 minutes for math. She worked on reading for 25 minutes. So reading. So my total elapsed time is 35 minutes. Okay. And what is the time that she finished? So finish is a synonym for end. So this is what we're looking for. Okay, so I have 10 minutes and 25 minutes. Right, so I know that I'm going to break the 25 down into 10, 20, and 5. I'm going to keep it at tens because I can add to it to my tens place. Okay, so I'm going to start with 3:20. I'm going to add 10 to 20. So 20 plus 10 is 30. And my hour stays the same, 3:30. Okay. I'm going to add another 10 minutes. So 30 plus 10 is 40. And because we're not quite to the hour yet, it's going to be 3:40. I'm going to add another 10. So 40 plus 10 is, plus a 10 is 50. So 350. And I still have the 5. So 50 plus 5 is 55. Because I didn't make it to past 59, my hour is still 3. It hasn't changed. So my end time is 3:55 p.m. as indicated by the story. Okay? Hopefully I didn't go too fast for you, and that kind of made sense. Okay? Let's go ahead and go to number 2. So you can pause it, you can slow it down anytime. So if I do go too fast, you're able to replay it, fix anything. You can watch it, kind of follow me first, and then if you want to copy, you can, however you learn. Okay? Alright, so number 2, I know it's going to be elapsed time, and I have my 3 components. I have my start time, I have my end time, and I have my elapsed time. And for 3rd grade right now, I believe it's just going to be minutes. That's my units. Okay, so Jack's Jackson's soccer practice, number 2 says, Jackson's soccer practice started at 4:45 p.m. The practice lasted 25 minutes. What time did Jackson's soccer practice end? Okay, so going back to what I need, I either know my start time, my end time, or my elapsed time. So Jackson's soccer practice started at 4:45, so it says right there, started. So I'm going to put 4:45 p.m. over here. The practice lasted 25 minutes. So that means that's how long did it take? 25 minutes. Putting it there in my elapsed time box. And so we're left to find the end time. Okay, so I'm going to break down my 25 into 10, 10, and 5. So 10, an interval of 10, so 45 plus 10, that means I'm going to change the tens place, makes 55. Since I haven't made it past to 60 yet, past 59, it's going to stay at 4. Okay, so it's 4:55. Now here is where hopefully in second grade you remember that 1 hour is equivalent to 60 minutes. So we never have 4:60 on the clock. Okay, that's not, the clock would never read that. The clock goes from 4:59, and once it gets to what would be 60, the clock will read 5 o'clock. Okay, so in this case, to me, I know that I'm close to 60. I'm actually 5 minutes away from 60. So to me, it would be better to change the hour first and add my interval of 5. So 55 plus 5 would be 60, remember? So, but we don't have a 60, so we're going to do 0, 0, and I have changed the hour from 4 to 5. So I've done those two. And I'm left with another 10 minutes. So 0 plus an interval of 10 is 10. And my hour is 5:10. So what time is soccer practice, Jackson soccer practice over at? 5:10. Okay. Alright, let's go ahead and look at what moving backwards now. So in this example, in this practice, we would be determining a start time. So if you were given the end time and elapsed time, count back from the end time to find the start time. So now we're doing the same thing, which doesn't change. This setup never changes. We have a start time, we have an end time, and we have how much time has passed, which we call our elapsed time. Okay, so in this case we're going to determine our start time. Okay. So if you are given, let's see, so the example is, after a 13-minute bus ride, Juan arrives at school at 7:50. What time did Juan get on the bus? Okay, so I know it has it there, but we're going to work it out. Okay, so he arrives at school at 7:50. Let's see, AM or PM? It doesn't say. Okay, so in this case, it doesn't say, so I'm just put 7:50. We know that our elapsed time is 13 minutes. Okay, so how am I going to break 13 down? I'm going to break 13 down into 10, 1, 1, and 1. Okay? So, I'm going to do the easiest one first, is 10. Okay, so take a 10 away from 50. 50 minus 10 is 40. And the hour has not changed, so the time is 7 40. Okay. Then we're going to do 1 minute. So 1 minute before that is 7:39. Another minute before that is 7:38. And another minute before that is 7:37. So what time did Juan get on the bus? 7:37. Okay. Alright, now let's look at doing it together. I'm gonna go ahead and let you. So we know that we have to set up. So go ahead and set up. And now, I want to preface with, I really encourage you to copy, to do it with me as we do it, because you will be doing one of the next 4 problems as your assignment. You'll be making a video, okay? So the more you do it, the easier it will be when you go to do it on your own, okay? So we have our start time, our end time, and our elapsed time. Okay, so that's what it should look like. So pause the video, take some time to make sure you're ready. Okay, as we read the problem, Allie practiced piano for 35 minutes. Her practice ended at 1:50 p.m. What time did Allie's piano practice start? Oops, wrong one. So Allie practiced piano for 35 minutes. So that tells me 35 minutes. That's my elapsed time, because my units, it's minutes. 35 minutes. Her practice ended at 1:50. Okay, so here's my keyword, ended. So that means I'm going to put 1:50 over on the end side. And what time did her piano practice start? So that means that I'm going to go ahead and put that question mark over here. That's what I'm going to try to determine. Okay. So how am I going to break 35? I'm going to break 10, 20, 30, and then a 5, interval of 5. Okay. So 10 minutes back would be 50 minus 10 would be 40, and my hour stays the same. Then another 10. 40 minus 10 is 30. Then another 10. 30 minus 10 is 20. So it's the hour is still the same. I'm sorry, it doesn't change. So 120, and then an interval of 5. So 20 minus 5 is 15. Her practice, piano practice started at 1:15 p.m. Okay. Pause at any time that you need. And then the last one. Okay. Lucas rode his bike for 25 minutes. His bike ride ended at 5:15 p.m. What time did Lucas start riding his bike? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and erase it. Okay, at this point you should know. What are the 3 components? I have a start time. I have an end time. And then I have my minutes that elapsed time. Okay, let's read the problem again. So Lucas rode his bike for 25 minutes. Alright, here's the first information, 25 minutes. Where does that go? start time, end time, or elapsed time. Okay, so hopefully you know by now that's your elapsed time. His bike ride ended at 5:15. So ended means I'm going to put it over here, 5:15, and that's a PM. And just to confirm, what time did Lucas start riding his bike? So we are looking for our start time. Okay, so how am I going to break those 25 minutes up? Breaking them 10, 10, and 5, right? Okay, so 10 minutes back, so 15 minus 10 would leave me at 5. Okay, but remember that the clock always has to have numbers, so it's going to be 0 o'clock. So the hour's still the same, 5 o'clock, that's how we would say it. Oh, 5:05, I should say, PM, 5:05 PM. Okay, so I took 10 minutes off. Now you could take another 10 minutes, but then you would go past the hour, and that can be confusing. So that I notice that I have 5 here, and I notice that I have an interval of 5 here, so my next interval is going to be 5. Because what's that going to do is that's going to set me right on the hour. Taking 5 away puts me at 0. Okay, and since we know that now if I move before that, I'm going to have to change my hour. Okay, so that leaves me 10 minutes. I have to go back 10 minutes, but I can't do 0 minus 10. That's not the way we do time. However, think of it this way: 1 hour equals 60 minutes, right? So at 5 o'clock, I have 60 minutes within the 4. Okay, within the hour of 4. So from that, that's like 60, and then I'm going to take away, so in my head I'm thinking 60 minus 10, that gives me 50. Oops, looks like 50. Okay, so I know that my minutes is going to be 50, but because I'm moving backwards, I'm going to the previous hour, and that's going to be 4:50. So my start time was 4:50 PM. Hopefully that makes sense. Okay? Alright, now moving on. Here is what you guys are going to do. You guys are going to make a video just like I did. I'm going to read these problems, and you're going to make a video explaining whichever one of the following problems you want to explain. Okay, so I'm going to read them. I'm going to post them so you don't have to rewatch the video or watch the video all over again, and you get a choice. But for those of you that need that support of it being read, I'm going to read it to you, and then you guys can choose whichever one you want to explain. So just like I did in the video, you're going to use your Chromebook camera and make a video, and I'm going to make another video that if you don't know how to submit a video, you'll be able to do that shows you how to do that. Okay, so here we go. Let's read the problems, and you can decide which one you want to solve and present. Okay, so number 1, Bryce arrived home from school at 3:45 PM. He spent 50 minutes eating a snack and doing homework. Then Bryce left for baseball practice. What time did Bryce leave for baseball practice? Number 2. The school bus leaves Franklin School each afternoon at the time shown on the clock, 3:07. The bus makes 3 stops. The first stop is 5 minutes after leaving school. The second stop is 8 minutes after that, and the last stop is 14 minutes after the second stop. What time does the bus make its final stop? Brinley and her friends left school at 4:25 PM. They walked 12 minutes to Jen's house. then another 13 minutes to Cam's house. Brinley walked another 15 minutes to her house. Which clock shows the time Brinley arrived home? Felicia spent 75 minutes in the mall. She left the mall at 12:30 p.m. What time did Felicia arrive at the mall? Alright guys, so go ahead and hopefully this video will help you understanding that, and I'll put another video to show you how to make a video.